you have land, you have cars, as long as you're not owing on it, that will be your security or collateral that I will hold in order to do business with you. They break open your house one time, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, it's only on Real Talk you can get the real news, the real facts, and the real insights of what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago. Others will just tell you about A, B, C, but to go into depths, no, they're afraid to do that. They are afraid to do that. But nevertheless, viewers, you are live on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Now, every night I keep telling you all to go on your Facebook account, type up Real Talk with Saieed Ali, and share our live stream. This is what I want you to do, viewers. Share our live stream. It is important to us. It is important to you as a viewer of Real Talk, and it is important to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So the people outside of our country will understand what is taking place in our country. Also, just a reminder, viewers, remember Real Talk is giving you 4% on our fixed deposit. When you set up a fixed deposit with our company, you're getting 4% per year for 5 years. Once you sign a 5-year contract. Now, let me break it down for you. I love to break down things so people would understand, you know. Now, other banks giving you 2-3% per year, right? And you might have to wait 10 years before you get the interest on your fixed deposit. Now, at Real Talk, once you open a fixed deposit with us, you are getting your interest rate up front. If you sign a contract with us for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, you are getting 7 years interest up front. So you could take that money, repair your house, pay down on a car, or pay for a trip somewhere in the world. So you have money up front. You don't have to wait at the end of 10 years or 12 years or 20 years or even 3 years. You're getting your interest rate up front. Now, no other financial company in Trinidad and Tobago is doing that. So viewers, listeners, spread the word, tell your friends, tell your family that at Real Talk, when you open a fixed deposit, you're getting your interest up front. We are the only financial complex in Trinidad and Tobago doing that. Now remember, you can also open a savings account. You could also buy shares in your credit union. Be a member. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow. Remember that, viewers. Now, I have been in the finance business for almost all my life. I'm also a licensed money lender. So, on another term, if you go to the bank and you get blank with a loan, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30,000, and they blank here, come down to Real Talk. Or what you could do, in fact, our numbers are on screen. So you can call our office, set up an appointment, and meet with us. We are located at number 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas. And it's very simple. You take out your phone, you dial the numbers, Monday to Friday between 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. On Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Set up an appointment with our staff on the phone. They will tell you what you need to work with and come on down. So viewers, remember, we are the only licensed financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you 4%. Remember that, viewers, 4% on our fixed deposit. Less than 5 years, you might get 3%, you might get 3.5%. It all depends. But once you sign a 5-year contract or more with us, you are guaranteed to get 4%. Now, if you have 100,000, I'm just saying, you could have less. You could have $20,000 and open a 5-year contract and get 4%. But I like to use a figure that you would understand. If you have $100,000 or $200,000, let's say $200,000, and you open a 5-year contract with us. Now, 4% per year on a 5-year contract is 8,000. 8,000 by 5 years. 8 5 is 40? Yeah. Yeah. That's $40,000 up front. You know, the brain's kind of clicking there. $40,000 upfront, viewers, when you sign a 5-year contract with us. You don't have to wait for 5 years or 6 years or 7 years. And this is what I keep telling Trinidad and Tobago. I am going to change the way banking operates in Trinidad and Tobago. I am going to change the way credit unions function in Trinidad and Tobago. Why? Because I am a leader. I am a person with a vision. We are not of yesteryear. We are in this year going forward. Last year already gone. You already made plan for last year. You succeed, you gain, you lost, whatever it is. But hence, go forth is a different thing. It's a different thing. So viewers, call your friends, call your family, let them know Real Talk Group is giving you 4% on our fixed deposit. And you could also be members of the credit union, buy shares, open an account. Do it for you and your kids. Hey, it's only Saieed could do these things. Nobody else. No banks in Trinidad cannot do what I doing because they're afraid they're lost. They're afraid they're lost. Real Talk is expanding our financial company outside of Trinidad and Tobago. That is to tell you how big we're growing. We're growing. We ain't going to fall, you know. You know, a lot of them say, oh, Saieed, careful, you end up like Hindu credit union. Tell Allah something. In spiritual work, I just do. I born gifted. And any business I go into, the good Lord is make sure I prosper. You want to know why? Because I was chosen. Because I was chosen. Nobody didn't give me a spiritual gift, you know. Born with it. And that is the difference. That is the difference. Real Talk Group, our companies, we are growing. We are growing, we are growing, we are growing. I am already in talks with ministers in Grenada, Guyana, Barbados. And I am already in talks with people from Dubai. So when I tell yourself, Real Talk Finance or Real Talk Credit Union will just birth it in Trinidad and will stay here for 40 years, no. In 40 years, we must be almost around the globe. In all the English-speaking countries, that is my vision. And watch me grow. I just tell people that. You want to see something? Challenge me. Saieed, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do next. And watch me grow. They said, Saieed, you couldn't get marijuana legalized in Trinidad. What did? What? Decriminalized. You could walk with 5 grams, 30 grams in your pocket, smoke it in front of the police. And what? They can't do anything. When they say you couldn't do it, I show them I could do it. Why? Why? Because the good Lord walks with me. That is why. That's why I just be so vibrant on my show too. That's why when I say I'm pushing for something, trust me, it's passing. My show have been a track record in Trinidad and Tobago as the only program in this country, the host to push for 12 or 13 legislation and amendment and get it passed in the parliament. The only show could do that is Real Talk with Saieed. And that has been our track record for the last 6 years in this country. But nevertheless, we're going to win news now. The Northwest Regional Health Authority cancelled a planned media tour of the neonatal intensive care unit of the Port of Spain General Hospital scheduled for earlier today. The Northwest said the decision was made after it received a pre-action protocol letter from lawyers for the parents of babies who died after a bacterial outbreak at the NICU earlier this month. In the letter, the lawyer raised concerns over the invitation extended to the media and asked why the parents were not also invited. The Northwest Regional Health Authority has also denied claims that it has been tampering with evidence and sanitizing record. They are cooperating with the Pan American Health Organization in its investigation and its sanction of paperwork area in the laboratories and maintenance of equipment were also standard procedure. Well, Trinidad and Tobago, that we hope that from tonight going forward, no babies will die again. Let we just hope that. It's something
we're going to have to pray for. You know, when I say pray, I remember earlier, you know. I remember earlier. Nevertheless. The neonatal intensive care unit, which was part of the Cuba Children's Hospital, was noted in the report of the parliamentarian team which visited the hospital in 2016. Senator Jolene John, who was head of UDCOT, which supervised the hospital project, slammed Health Minister Terence Dialsing for a lie about the video. John said, one would have thought that as a country we'd be united as babies are dying. But the minister was on television saying that the video was...
We are very mindful that we must guard against this the tragic events that have brought us here becoming a circus, or worst, presenting Minister of Health Dialsing with the excuse or distraction he is desperately seeking as he plays fast and loose with the truth. You would have thought, as a country, we would have been united in our grief, our heartache, because babies are dying. But there was the Minister of Health on television yesterday evening stating that a video of which represented, it didn't purport, it represented the as-built and as-outfitted of the Cuba Children's Hospital and had been commissioned by UDCOT at the time. He said well, for me, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say by inference, or no, it wasn't inference, he called it aspirational. Those were his words. And to me, by inference, he's really making that inference that it is in fact not real. And this thing you have circulating that you're calling fake is a lie, plain and simple.
Now Trinidad and Tobago, she also added that Dialsing should open the hospital instead of going to the media to save his job while mothers are going home with an empty baby blanket.
We need to get that hospital. We need for you to open the damn hospital immediately. All of this splitting of hairs is not working. Right? This infrastructure belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And for you all to be making it now out of political spite and ill will, to have kept that hospital closed for 9 years, you should be hanging your head in shame instead of going to the media. I don't know what kind of desperation that is. That you can be going there now, last night, trying to save your job, trying to save your pocket, while mothers are going home empty-handed, your pocket full with your money. But they are going home with an empty blanket, without that child, that 9 months they wished for and willed for and loved to come into this world. And you have no damn shame. And I think you should have some shame and some conscience. You're talking about 150 beds and then 80 for children. And that is 34%. So you could count like the count. 1, 2, 3. I hope you could come to 18. 18 dead babies under your watch.
No, Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. You see this that happening? Right now, Dialsing walking on his small toe, you know. He walking on his small toe because he realized he telling tales to the country, you know. He walking on his small toe. Jolene John, and Dr. Lakram Bodhi, who was part of the past government team on the hospital development, said the hospital children wing had an NICU, and the video is a true representation of the hospital. Lakram stated that the Dialsing reference to a special baby care unit was playing with words, since the facility NICU was there. He said the NICU was provided for, but he was told that some equipment was moved to other facilities which should be explained by the minister. Listen to this.
So the minister really should be focusing really on what has happened at the NICU at the Port of Spain Hospital. So to come and say that it's just a matter of playing with words, because the facility was there. Clearly, there was the intention and the facilities to back it up to provide a NICU, because the document from the PAC is showing there were 16 obstetric beds available. But just to re-emphasize the point that the NICU was provided for and the equipment was shown. Whether that equipment is still there, members of the media, I am not in a position to say. And again, it would be instructive to see whether that equipment is still there or has been moved from that hospital. I'm told by colleagues and others that some of that equipment has been moved to other facilities. But again, that is incumbent upon the minister and the ministry to explain what has happened to that equipment.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, babies are dying, and the Minister of Health is saying there is no NICU at the Couva Hospital. There is none. Good thing there was a UDCOT representative telling Trinidad and Tobago that, hey, this is it. That video? Remember that Trinidad and Tobago? Look at it.
Ground floor opens up into the PD.
Tobago. The neonatal ward at the Couva Hospital is real. It is real. Emily Carter from UDCOT showed us. She showed us. She was there back then when it opened. And now the Alsing is saying there is none. He's saying
This
there
is the
none.
neonatal intensive care unit. This is where, at the Couva Children's Hospital, we will offer care for our nation's most vulnerable. What you see here is a neonatal incubator. This offers a cocoon-like environment with optimal thermoregulation and protection from outpatient clinics and minor treatment and dressing.
You heard what she said? A new neonatal. So how come now Terence Yalsing could come now and say, well, hey, it's a hand on? Terence, let me tell you something. This one hitting you very hard, you know. Very, very hard. Paula, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead,
You
you're
and
live.
all your listeners. Terence the Terrible, a.k.a. Minister of Death, playing football with the Ministry of Health and all the respective health personnel, because he going in a cricket conference today. He playing football with the Ministry of Health, but he going in a cricket conference today. But you know what I want to talk to? I want to talk about HDC. And HDC is really, really badly managed, you know.
My friend, I do apologize in cutting you tonight. Believe me, I really am. I really, really am. But we want to stick where babies are dying. I understand the issues with HDC. They have decided to move into individuals' home and put them out. I understand that. But we will leave that for another time. Again, I said I do apologize sincerely for that. I do apologize. But Trinidad and Tobago is at a place now where babies are dying, and the Minister of Health now is telling us 649. 649. This is important. He making statement on media conference, on television broadcasting, right through. Right through. And there's evidence against what he is saying. Against what he is saying. Imagine Trinidad and Tobago. Parents now, they're going to sue. They're going to start suing. I wonder if any one of them suing the Alsing for lying. I wonder if anybody suing the Alsing for not telling the truth. I wonder if anybody doing that. Maybe if somebody sent him a letter, he might walk on his toenail. He might walk on his toenail. And I believe some lawyer who's representing the babies should send Terrence a letter. Why did you misguide Trinidad and Tobago? Why? When it's there. When it's there. Emily Carter was there. Maybe some lawyer should send Terrence a letter. Why did you misguide the people? Why? Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Said.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Mr. Dialsing is bound to be lying when he says that it have nothing in the Cuba hospital, because remember, when they got into power and they started to move and strip that particular hospital.
Oh, correct.
Right?
My mistake, I understand that. Equipment started to move out.
Right. And
Good.
now they started to use it as a COVID place.
Correct.
So it is bound to have anything inside there for the babies or the paupers.
Because it was
that
moved
hospital
out.
was being built for has been stripped off.
I understand. My friend,
So
thank
these-
you so much for reminding Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, my friend. You see how talk is being talk? Let's see. All this, my glasses like it don't want to come out. They get stick it like it's glued on there with the fire. Well, let's see now. Well, here in Trinidad and Tobago. So ask yourself, what kind of health minister you have now serving Trinidad and Tobago? Is he misguiding the population? It's only Saeed to bring you the real facts, you know. It's only Saeed. I'm glad he called a call and enlighten all of the people. Even enlighten me because I forgot that. But nevertheless, switching gears a bit. We'll go for a commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear 6 people threaten to sue Commissioner of Police in an FUL dispute after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Realtalk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, viewers, spread the word. Real Talk is offering you 4% on fixed deposit, and you're getting your interest payment up front. Remember that, Trinidad and Tobago. Spread the word like wildfire. We are the only financial company in Trinidad and Tobago that is doing that. Now, back to our news. A gun dealer and 5 others have served a pre-action protocol letter on Commissioner of Police Earl Haywood Christopher over the non-renewal of firearm users license, FUL, and deeming them to be invalid. According to the document filed in the High Court, the COP came to this determination despite thousands of FUL holders have paid the annual renewal fee between 2004 and up to 2023. The claim was prompted by notice published late December 2023 and January 2024, whereby Haywood Christopher mandated that all FULs be renewed or they would become invalid. Attorneys for the intended claimant exchanged correspondence with the commissioners on the issue of renewal, but the COP argued that persons who failed to renew their FUL since 2004 or, in the alternative, since the year 2007 would no longer be holders of valid FULs. Let me tell you something, trying to be go. I tell you, this woman ain't have no sense, you know. Why go back to 2000? Why? Is there something so specific about 2004 coming up to 2023? I wonder why. Who gave the commissioner those details and gave her authorization to do that? Way back in 2000, who is being spited here? I don't know, I'm just asking. Who is being spited from 2004 come straight up to 2023? Because I will tell you something, Earl, I'm not that bright. I'm saying it on national television without apology. Earl, I'm not that bright. You know why? The first 100 days in office, she couldn't come up with a plan to fight crime in Trinidad and Tobago. And both said she was successful. Successful in what? The only thing you were not successful with, no, my mistake. The only thing you were successful with in the first 100 days is not coming up without a plan. You were successful at that. Because at the Joint Select Committee meeting, she couldn't answer. And on one side she said, all our plans fail. So you not that bright, Earl, to go back now to 2004 to tell gun holders, licensed firearm holders, that if you don't renew, it's an illegal firearm you have. You're not that bright. You're not that bright. Because in the first 100 days, you have come up with a plan. How the hell you reached right back in 2004? Who is being spied from 2004 until 2023? Common sense. Common sense, common sense, common sense will teach all you a lot. Common sense will teach all you a lot. Now, hear this. The attorney argued that this has exposed thousands of law-abiding FUL holders to criminal prosecution with sanctions, including fine of up to $500,000 and imprisonment for up to 20 years. You see how far this fighting gone back? So all who had firearm users license from 2004 come straight up. It's thousands of people now, according to Earl, will be holding an illegal firearm. Who got gun dealership license all the way back in 2004 and are being spited from 2004 come straight up to 2023? The claimant are seeking a declaration that COP's decision, the conduct, and the determination that FULs that have not been renewed subsequent to 2004 are invalid and unlawful. Why 2004? Which gun dealer in Trinidad and Tobago got their license in the year 2004? Which gun dealer? Can that gun dealer call in the program? I'm going to tell you something. Well, I'm not that bright. Because if Ola could admit in the first 100 days, her crime fighting plan failed. How you end up in 2004? Trinidad and Tobago. Watch me, I'm gonna be looking stupid, but I ain't dotish. I'm gonna be looking dotish, but I ain't stupid. To run a finance company, 2 finance company, let me tell you something. You see this? It had to be real high. Call a good night.
Yes, hi, good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Saeed, I want to touch on something personal before I touch on this issue you're talking about here. Right?
Talk to me.
Listen, I'm living inside Saieed Road, right? Just off Care Road in Charlieville. And since last week, Friday, Saeed, the garbage truck ain't passing to pick up nobody rubbish inside here, right?
Serious?
So I want to know what is really going on. I want to know if local government didn't get their funding from the fiscal budget to pay the rubbish truck company to come and pick up people rubbish, or what it is really going on inside here. The rubbish truck from 3 days, it started coming 2 days. Now it's coming 1 day for the week. And now it's even coming this week. So I have about 6 bags piled up in front of me right now to pick up.
But who is in charge of the rubbish truck?
Well, I don't know if it's the corporation, whoever that gave that contract, but whoever it is, we're not getting no service from this garbage truck company, and it's getting overbearing outside.
Tomorrow I'll contact the mayor and see what is taking place with that.
Anyhow, touching on this point, we're talking about the FULs, right?
Talk to me.
The commissioner had time to try and revoke people's license and try and fight on people, but she had time to sign off people's firearms. That is what really going on here. They're processing firearms on the side. When time they get signature from the commissioner of police now, nothing happening, nothing. Watch me, we thought Jacob was bad, she a little worse. And listen, touching on this thing with Terence Dial Singh, I hear Tim Gopi Singh saying that the man writes the pharmacist license twice and failed.
Yes.
So we have a health minister there who failed a pharmacist license 2 times, and Keith Rowley see he fit to put you as the minister of health. Well, that is why everything's falling apart, and people want to know why it is the health sector so bad. And Anna Roberts say voting are consequences. Well, what will tell them? Anyway, you enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, are you listening to this now? Here is where the thing get nice now. Here is where the thing get ticklish now. Here is where we go know now if the firearm that they're holding, if it is illegal or not. Now listen this. Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines stated that about 9,500 private citizens are now awaiting the renewal of their firearm users license, FULs. But he did not think this situation left them breaking the law in the interim. How the hell they gonna leave them breaking the law? When the Commissioner of Police issued something and demand that people from 2004. When did that come about? Did that come about in 2004? No. Did it come about in 2007? No. Did it come about in 2020? No. So Fitzgerald Hines, don't make yourself a clown. Don't do that. Don't make yourself a clown. Because I will make you look like one on television. Now, Hines stated that from 2018 to 2023, FULs were previously issued to 13,042 private citizens, of whom only 3,547 have so far received renewals, leaving about 9,500 renewal pending. Hold on. Hines, it's pending. Who's supposed to sign off on it, Hines? Come here, man, open your mouth now, man. Who's supposed to sign off on pending? The woman who couldn't come up with a plan in 100 days. The woman who said, I am successful in 100 days. The same woman now who had to eat her own words went back and tell the Joint Select Committee that her plan failed. That is the person they're waiting on, Hines. So if she ain't sign it off, Hines, how will it be renewed? Come, say something. Say something. I'm waiting to hear you. Don't make yourself a clown, because I will make you on a national television. And I ain't afraid. You're a minister? Oh, how do you reach there? Thank God for the citizen to give you a little power to brag your mouth in the parliament. Paula, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Calling from Tunapuna.
Welcome to Napuna.
Saeed, you know, I listened to the news tonight. And I think the call of the PAHO meeting, I think, was supposed to be with the parents or whoever it is.
Yes.
You know, they call off the meeting?
Yes, they call off the meeting.
Yes, you know, it just goes to show you because why? They remove things, they try to sanitize the place, they try to do things to make it look different than the condition that exists. But what you're talking about there with this dotish clown Fitzgerald, you remember when the question was asked in the parliament with respect to the fire services, ill-equipped and whatnot on the side? And he get down and he went to tongue, I think, on Senator Mark and whatnot. But tonight on the news, you know, remember they were supposed to have the opening at the Point 14 fire station side?
Mm-hmm.
They put off that too, because you hear what the news did say? That they brought a fire truck from some other place. They brought the ambulance from some other place. And they brought the ladders from some other fire station.
Correct.
So, I mean, what the hell really going on in this place? And then again, I listened to this next idiot. This one who has called himself a pastor, Clive Dottin, blasting the opposition. Kamla Posabi said, sir, based on some issue with Khadija Amin. And have the leader come bring up one who talking crime and all kind of dosages. You see them in the bosom, they in the crutches of the PNM. And I am calling all his followers, leave out he. Because these people and them are disciples of the PNM, they getting funding and they don't get a hell about the country. So that's my contribution, brother.
Thank you, my friend. So listen to this video, viewer.
In this regard, the total number of FUL applications made during the period 2018 to 2023 amounted to 13,042. Which is disaggregated as follows. For the year 2018, there were 1,722 applications. In the year 2019, 3,217. In the year 2020, 3,337. In the year 2021, 3,190. In the year 2022, 651. In the year 2023, 925. While the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service's overall digitization process is underway, the FUL files have not yet been fully digitized, which means that every one of the files pertaining to FUL applications would have to be physically scrutinized to ascertain the category of the applicant. One would appreciate the time-consuming nature of this process. In addition to digitizing the existing files, the TTPS has informed that the capturing of this information at the time of the application would be done. In respect of part 2, as regards to part 2 of the question, TTPS records relating to the approved FULs reveal that during the period 2018 to 2023, a total of 3,547 private citizens were granted FULs, disaggregated as follows. 2018, 216. 2019, 534. 2020, 1,462. 2021, 1,271. 2022, 47. 2023, 17. Mr. President, story is being told. Thanks.
All those applications and how many were signed off? At one point in time in the Joint Select Committee meeting, the commissioner said 100. Out of 25,000 applications, 100 were signed. Viewers, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to continue on.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. Now, in all the melee that is taking place, in all, some 89 private security companies have been issued FULs, for which their individual security guard were then respectively issued firearm users employees license. Hines said, listen to this.
It is important to note that the approval and or grant of a firearm user's license to private security companies is done by the Commissioner of Police in accordance with Part 2 of the Firearms Act, Chapter 1601 of the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. In this regard, each private security company can only be granted one FUL, from which the Commissioner of Police can then grant several FUECs, Firearm Users Employees Certificates for their respective employees. Accordingly, with respect to item 1 of the question, part 1, the Commissioner of Police has advised that a total of 89 private security companies have been granted FULs. In relation to part 2, the 10 private security companies with the largest number of Firearm Users Employees Certificates granted under the FULs, as I explained, are Amalgamated Security Services Limited with 570, Allied Security Limited with 282, Elite Security Consultants 195, Executive Bodyguard Services 176, Fortress Security Services Limited 167, G4S Security Services Limited, 142, Imgin Security Services Limited, 129, Innovative Security Services Limited, 113, SWAT Estate Police Company Limited, 109, and Telecom Systems Limited, 102, totaling 1,985 altogether. Thank you.
So Trinidad and Tobago, there you have it. Now, listen to this, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that steps have been taken to authorize and begin to operationalize vetted units in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to bring about better information sharing with this country's international partner. Rowley gave the information after Chaguanas West MP Dinesh Rambali queries on whether any progress has been made in addressing crime since April 2023 Regional Crime Symposium at Hyatt Regents. I'll listen to this.
We have been, as a consequence of the stance taken on the matters ventilated at the symposium, been receiving much better cooperation from our international partners, which include tracking and preventing the illegal importation of firearms, making it more difficult for persons to engage in that activity. We have also been receiving information that has been acted upon to tackle transnational organized crime insofar as they impact the borders of Trinidad and Tobago and the interests of Trinidad and Tobago. We receive, on an ongoing basis, improved intelligence and training for our own law enforcement agencies and Defense Force personnel. We have, in fact, Madam Speaker, taken steps to authorize and begin to operationalize vetted units in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to bring about better information sharing with our international partners.
Now viewers, he said all of these activities flow from an understanding that TNT and international partners are better off cooperating more closely. Listen to the PM.
All of these activities, Madam Speaker, flow from an understanding that Trinidad and Tobago and our international partners are better off cooperating more closely and having our agencies, which are dedicated to our national security, working together as one unit in one common purpose. If what the member is asking me to do is to tie what I've just said to any particular incident or event or crime, certainly the member could not be serious. But with respect to our ability to respond to the criminal element, these developments between our government and governments that cooperate with us, friendly nations, we are in a much better position than we would have been if we had not done these things. So, Madam Speaker, there's benefit being had and benefit to be had as a result of these developments.
So Trinidad and Tobago, let me ask you this question. Since the symposium took place, did we see a difference in Trinidad and Tobago crime rate? Did we see a difference? Did we? Firstly, the Commissioner of Police said all her plans failed. From the time the Commissioner of Police said all her plans failed, that was a downfall right there for Trinidad and Tobago Police. Right there. The head, her plan failed. No progress. Symposium come, millions spent, no changes took place. None. But the Prime Minister has a job to go into the Parliament and talk. That's his job, to talk. Now, on whether he was satisfied with the present state of crime, given all of the cooperation he'd referred to, Rowley said that he didn't think anybody in TNT could say they are satisfied with our experience with crime and criminal conduct. It's obvious we saw a rise in crime. Rambali then asked if the PM would be removing Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines anytime soon. However, Rowley quipped that Rambali was looking for work, but added, there is no vacancy here on the government side. All listen to this.
Madam Speaker, I don't think anybody in Trinidad and Tobago could say that they're satisfied with our experience with crime and criminal conduct in the country. What I can say is that had these efforts not been put in place, it would have been far worse.
Member for Chaguanas West.
Prime Minister, will you be removing the Minister of National Security anytime soon?
I don't want a place to go, but there's no vacancy here.
No vacancy. So no production is doing well. Seems so to me. Like I said, I am not UNC, I am not PNM. I am a businessman in Trinidad and Tobago, decided to pool my resources together to host this show for a better Trinidad and Tobago. And believe me, the things I have gotten done, it better us in some way. So we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the PM strip costing Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to run out of time. But nevertheless, listen to this. The Prime Minister has defended the cost of his overseas business travel, saying it had added billions of dollars to this country. Now listen to this.
I am not a Prime Minister who traveling for travel's sake. I indicated to this country that I am the country's #1 salesman and I led from the front in renegotiating and opening terms of contracts that were extremely important to Trinidad and Tobago. So, as a result of that, you would have seen in those 19 meetings a number of very important delegations led from Trinidad and Tobago, led by the Prime Minister, to specific instances of activities abroad.
Now, viewers, the PM said each trip had a significant purpose to this country and stated that he is the country's #1 salesman and he opened terms of contract which were extremely important to Trinidad and Tobago. That's what he said, eh? Now, he also recalled a delegation to India in 2012 which costed the opposition $12 million. Listen to this.
One delegation then was $2.6 million. I could tell you now without fear of contradiction. Throughout my tenure as Prime Minister, no delegation cost $2 million. None. And then there was another one to India in 2012. One delegation to India led by the Prime Minister cost $12 million. I didn't see any banner headline in this country about scandal then. A scandal, 19 delegations for $10 million over a 4-year period is now scandal. But when one delegation cost $12 million, the scandal that was raised then, you know what it was? It was the minister speaking to the parliament and lying to the parliament that it has cost $8 million.
So, I love this, eh? Rowley recalled a special advisor to the Prime Minister, a certain captain who traveled first class, and MP Padarat, who was an advisor to the MP, as well as other members, as he referred to Prasad Bissa's 2012 trip to India. He said, I did not go to my ancestor nowhere and drink and get drunk nowhere. I'll listen to this.
You'll see a certain Shambal using special advisor to the Prime Minister. He's hiding somewhere. Australia, I'm told. Yeah. You'll see a certain captain traveling first class. You will see a certain other member, Padarat, advisor to the Prime Minister. He's there too. You will see an advisor on public engagement. You will see a Mrs. Vidwati Newton, not a public officer, traveling on first class with the Prime Minister. You will see a research assistant to the Prime Minister then, a personal assistant to the Prime Minister, and a photographer. None of these categories of people travel with me when I travel leading delegations out of this country. I didn't go to meet my ancestor nowhere and drink and drunk nowhere. I went to meet on Monday the 29th of January, the meeting between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States. The Trinidad and Tobago delegation was led by the Prime Minister, and we met first with the United States Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken.
Now, viewers, from renegotiating energy price to signing oil and gas deals, the PM stated that altogether $18 billion was recovered from his trip, while his name was being called about a scandal. Ooh, all I hear this one.
I'm here talking about billions of dollars that wouldn't have come to us. And you come calling my name about scandal, over $10 million in travel to get that done. You see all of you crazy? And for the country's main newspaper to be an echo chamber for foolishness from people whose hallmark is theft and corruption that got them out of office. And you who carry the original story of their profligacy. Big string man going to Bihar because the Prime Minister is going to her roots in Bihar. and have the gall today to be asking what benefit the Prime Minister's travel has had. If I have to invest $10 million in travel to get $17 billion, I'll do it every day.
To wrap this up, Rowley also announced that 2 more trips will come in May, where he will travel to Ghana, where Trinidad and Tobago will be represented. Now, represented it in what way? Well, listen.
I have been invited by the Asantini, the king of the Ashanti, to be his guest of honor at his 25th anniversary, celebrating his ascending the throne of the Ashantis. I have accepted the invitation. I will travel to Ghana on the 8th of May, and I will spread the word according to Trinidad and Tobago. And we will be represented, as we have been when we were at Ghana's 60th anniversary of independence. You may recall I was the feature speaker at that. I was a guest of honor at the 60th anniversary. These things might mean nothing to some people, but it would mean a lot to people who know what means something to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now Trinidad and Tobago. Other trips are coming. Other trips are coming. Trips that the PM will be going on is to Mumbai, India, to meet with representatives for the Reliance Group to discuss investment in sports. So more trips are coming. Let's see how fruitful these trips would be. So viewers, you are viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali. It is that time that we have come to the end of our program. But just a reminder, 4% on fixed deposit with your interest rate up front. Remember that. Until we meet again, be safe.